let's just keep it all completely in the moment because this is just epic though because we had your brother on, we had your dad on,
Yeah.
and now Zach Weeks, the third brother. I know what it's like to be a third brother. I've been there.
Yes, sir. Hmm.
Um, but yeah, this is incredible to have you on, Zach Weeks. Everybody, the younger brother. Some of you may know, younger brother of Whit Weeks, but so much more. He has become an elite linebacker at Oconee County, a junior for the class of 2026, just entering his junior year, I should say. Just had an incredible sophomore season this last little bit here. Um, really, really, really excited to have him on this show. Zach, how's it going right now for spring ball for Oconee, and where are you guys at with your prep?
It's going really good. So right now we've just, ever since the season ends, we really get about a week off and then grind starts right back up in the weight room. But our spring ball, we're starting up next week, early Monday morning. So, boy, I sure am excited. I'm ready to go, man.
Oh, okay. Wow. So, like, this is right on the heels of last season where you guys, I'm trying to remember the record, but I remember you guys lost like 4 games by a single score
Yeah,
last season.
so a lot of very close, heartbreaking games. So I wish we could have had made a play here or there, but sometimes that's football, man. It'll break your heart.
Absolutely. What goals do you guys have for this season, kind of keeping in mind some of the harsh lessons from last year?
Well, I really think the goal every season, is state championship or bust, and I think especially in a program like Oconee County, where we've had those great teams in the past, and the fans' expectations because they play such a huge part in our community and our team, just pitching in with everything. So, I mean, every year we just want to go out there and give the best show we can, and hopefully make it as far as we can.
Did you reach any like personal goals of yours last season, Zach? Did you hit any milestones you were like, okay, that's something I will be satisfied with?
Yeah, I knew I wanted to have 100 tackles, but I wasn't sure because I'd never really like started a full season at linebacker on varsity football, so I was like, I always want to set the bar high, and I was like, all right, 10 tackles a game through the regular season, and however many postseason, like that should be where the standard is.
Absolutely. And 65 solo stops as well onto that. 7 TFLs, 1 forced fumble, 1 sack, and 1 interception. So you've been doing it all over the field, and it's really interesting because both. I hate to compare you to your brothers. I don't want to do that, but it's very interesting because you guys are a lot alike, though. West and Whit are both Oconee High legends who played like what was it, like 6 different positions. Like, obviously they were like linebackers, their home position, but they were punting, they were playing receiver, they were running back, defensive
Yeah.
back. How many different positions have you been playing at Oconee?
So last year, interesting enough, I really found my way onto the field at a tight end just because that's where we needed. I knew that was a spot we needed. So I was like, all right, if this is my chance to play, I'm gonna do everything I can. And I actually got to get a good amount of snaps last year. But this year, I think really just the position our team was in, we really needed a good middle linebacker because we had 4 all-region linebackers graduate from Whit's senior class. So that's just kind of how the balls rolled this past year. And then this year, I'll be probably put at fullback and tight end. And, wherever they need me, man, I'll go. If they want me to play guard, I'll go. I'll go hit some body pulling, wherever coach needs me.
That's the weak style. I mean, you guys play everywhere just as long as to make sure you can get the win, get over the line, whatever it takes. But it's still stunning to see the versatility. So you're thinking, I saw a little bit of receiver this last season on the stat book, but really not much beyond that, and really no offensive film that I could really find. But I'm sure there would be some on the full games, of course. But so you're thinking you're going to be a tight end and fullback coming this next season?
Yes, sir. That's the plan coach has for me right now. And this past season, when I was more of a blocking tight end, got to get my running back got to get him right back there. So that's where I kind of found myself this year, and I enjoyed it a lot.
You really had a strong season this last season. 100 tackles, 65 as a solo artist, 7 TFLs. You had your first successful individual campaign and your first real season starting. Played very little, it seemed, that I could find in your freshman year, right?
Yes, sir.
And so this is really your first season of sustained action this last fall, and you really had an awesome season. But what part of your game do you feel you really want to improve and kind of evolve on going into your junior year?
I think what I can really improve on is what you see West and Whit while they're so elite is if I'm getting to a guy, if I'm meeting him at the line of scrimmage this year, I want to meet him 2 yards in the backfield, like no gain, not even getting back to the line of scrimmage. So that's how I've been working on my speed, quickness, explosiveness, pick them up, drive them back 3 yards, dump them down. So that's really what I'm trying to work on this offseason.
And I mean, your film, you're literally just lighting some guys up here. You're flying all over the field, and you're also making plays in coverage too. I saw a lot of really disciplined coverage. You weren't like overreacting to plays. You weren't overreacting to routes. Even if you got beat and you had to recover, you stayed within everything. You kept it really controlled and really disciplined in coverage. I felt just from watching your film. Where does that kind of training come from?
Well, I mean, I think just the base of that is trusting my teammates, like I know the guy to my right, I know he has his zone. I know I can pass it off to him. I know if I got a guy coming behind me, the other linebacker, he's giving me that call. So I feel like our whole defense is very disciplined within each other just because we kind of have that base of trust around each other that we can each, stay in our zones and make the plays that we need to make.
That's the thing. Do you feel like Oconee you guys are kind of building something that's really not only cohesive, but now you guys are becoming a veteran team together?
Oh yeah, yes, sir. Because we've really the rising senior class and the rising junior class. I mean, they've played with each other for probably about 10 years now, and because I think we only had like 6 or 7 seniors really graduate, so it's still because last year we were a very young team, and so just having that, because this upcoming year will be a lot of the same team, but we'll be a year stronger, a year faster, so that's what I'm really looking forward to.
That's the thing is you're starting that kind of a clean slate, but you're building as well, and you didn't really lose much. So it's very exciting what you guys are doing for this next season at Oconee. But really for you, man, I mean, I feel like you're on the edge of a big recruiting process where those offers are going to start flying in for 2026 kids like you, kids your age. You're finally going to, I think, start getting those offers right when the season starts rolling around. And you've seen how both of your brothers were recruited and how they experienced their processes. Plus, your dad has been through that too. I mean, have you thought about how you want your recruiting process to go or how you'd like to handle it?
Honestly, I mean, I've thought about it, but I still because I'm talking to schools, but in the back end, I'm like, man, I'm still so young. Like I'm only going into my junior year, and then it's also like, I know, all that stuff is nice, but I know it comes with all the hard work and Friday nights. Like I know it's really, you can't worry about it too much because it's out of your control. Like I don't like to worry about things that are out of my control. So all I can control is how hard I'm working in the weight room, how much extra I'm doing, and then going out there Friday nights and trying to perform.
And that's what's so crazy. And I'm just like, how are these guys doing it? Because it's like what's happening, these offers, all this attention, it's like a cost, almost a price of the success. And so it's great, but it's almost like a can of worms unto itself. And so it's like you said, it's something you can't really control or anticipate. You just have to kind of deal with it and react the best you can and kind of navigate. I don't know, man. I think it's very interesting. It seems like I feel like a lot of big schools will probably be coming after you. Have you really who have you been getting feelers from early on of like, that's a school that really seems interested in me?
So I had a great spring ball visit down to Florida, I think 2 or 3 weeks ago, and then I was supposed to go up to Tennessee's spring game, but something popped up, and unfortunately I couldn't make it. So I was pretty excited about going there too.
Dang. Well, I know they probably were really, really like, we missed a big one here with you not being able to go to the spring game. Man, I think even though it's still early in your recruitment, I just have a sense that I feel like you're going to pop just like Whit did. I see a lot of the same intangibles that both Whit and West, but I gotta say, man, I think you might have them beat. Like both your older brothers, they play alongside each other at LSU right now. They're SEC linebackers. What's it like seeing two SEC linebackers wearing the name Weeks on the back of those
Um,
jerseys?
Man, I mean, people don't realize, like, because everybody in our Holmes County, they all love it. They're all supporting it, but it's really different when, I grew up, like, these are the guys I was playing with in my backyard when I was 4 years old, like, and seeing them next to each other out there and just making plays and balling out, like, I'll be sitting on the couch yelling on my TV. I'm like, this is awesome. Like, it gets me fired up. Like, watching that spring game there, I was like, golly, I cannot wait to get back out on the field.
Man, I mean, and they looked great together out there. Whit and West, and you got West making one-handed picks during spring practices. I mean, just really a good vibe with both of those guys, and a huge chance for playing time with a guy like Blake Baker, and how much he loves to rotate, and just the fact that both Whit and West are right there on the depth chart. But really, for you, one thing you could actually potentially be a freshman when Whit is a senior. If Whit stayed that long, you guys could literally do it again. The West and Whit part two with Whit and Zach. But also, you've been there many times, at least a few times, right? Just to see the experience of LSU, see your brothers. What did you think of the football vibe and culture? Does it appeal to you?
Oh yeah, it's crazy. I mean, there's nothing like when you have a 100,000. Because I was there the Bama game when Mason Taylor caught that ball, and I mean, I was right there with Whit. We stormed the field too. I mean, it was probably the craziest sporting, like, as a fan that I've ever. I was like, this is awesome because everybody's so into it. Like, there's just the culture there down there is really awesome.
I love it, man, and I think that's what made me an LSU fan. As someone who's not from Louisiana, it was just like, that looks like so much fun. I have to be there. That looks like just, and this is way before anything like the upset of Saban 2-point conversion. This is like back in the I think late '90s, early 2000s when I'm first watching LSU, and just seeing all these great players, but just really, it's kind of interesting to see this, how LSU has evolved, and to kind of see, we two different brothers from the same family, both on the same team, playing the same position, literally play on the same plays, playing linebacker in the same position, basically. Why is that though? Why has there been West, Whit, and now you, Zach, all linebackers, when your dad is an offensive lineman? How does that make sense?
Well, our dad always tells us we get our athleticism from our mom, which is definitely true. But I say we always get our size and strength from him, which all is also helping out a lot. So I just think kind of because growing up, because West was a quarterback till his freshman year, we did everything, like running back, fullback, everything. And so I think kind of high school, when that came around, it's kind of just the way last year I found my way on the field as a tight end. This year they needed me to step up as linebackers. And, I love playing linebacker, man. I love going out there and hitting somebody. So I think it's just kind of how we fell in with our builds and our athleticism. I just think that's how it all worked out for us.
I agree. I agree 100%. When I was writing that question down, I'm like, well, that's kind of a dumb question in a way, because, I mean, if you just look at them all, they're 6'2", 6'3", 220. I mean, they're just, I mean, they're just flying around like velociraptors from Jurassic Park. I mean, you can't escape these guys. I mean, some of the plays I'm seeing where you're flying around sideline to sideline, I'm just like, this is awesome. It reminds me echoes of Whit, echoes of West, but you've taken it all in your own new direction. Because I mean, people are going to compare. People are going to throw out those comparisons because of the third brother syndrome. I've been there, but at the same time, you have a chance to transcend all of that. So never let that get to you. But it's still it is hard to avoid the McConaughey meets Rambo kind of look to you guys on the field. And you guys played that same kind of fury, but yeah, it's very interesting. Some fan questions here for you, Zach. Let's see. Here we go. Okay. Bruce has this question is for Zach. Who wins in a fight, you, West, or Whit?
You know, I'm gonna be completely honest. It's got to be West. He is one. He's the type of guy. He's the nicest dude till he flips that switch. Once he flips that switch, because I've seen, I'm like, all right, I'm getting out of here. You know, so. And I mean, have you seen that guy's arms? I don't want to get hit by those things.
Absolutely, man. West is like the nicest dude in the world, but it does feel like you cross that line. I've seen him just playing football, but then also, there's something about the boot NIL boot deal that he has. It's like, I mean, just like that boot just in a fight too. Oh my God, like that guy would do some damage. Bruce also says, Alsalon, ask him if LSU has been after him. Has LSU been interested in you?
You know, I talked to him a little bit with their old defensive staff, but ever since these new hires, you know, I'm sure they've been so busy with, you know, just trying to get everything. Because, I mean, the main goal for them is always to win. So I really haven't heard that much from the new staff there.
You know, that could be the whole consequence of it. And it's just timing mixed with circumstances. But I really, you know, Blake Baker, if you're watching this, Blake, I actually call him Blaker, just for short, because his name is just so Blake Baker. Blake, it's just tough to say a million times in a row. Blaker, if you're watching this, go after Zach with everything you got. Man, Hermload has a question. Total honesty, Zach, which Weeks brother is the best tackler?
That's a good one. I'm gonna have to think about this. You know, always. I mean, I don't think myself is the best, but you know, if I'm being honest, I think some of the plays Whit's made, just because that's what I was talking about. What I'm trying to do this year is, instead of meeting him at the line of scrimmage or at the one, you know, he can just fly back there so quick and drop them three. Like it's like it's instant, you know. So I mean, I'd have to go with Whit on that one.
I love that. I love the honesty, and I think it's true. I think West has some really nasty, you know, specialties in coverage that he showed off at Virginia, especially. Maybe he hasn't had the full opportunity to show that off at LSU yet, but he had a lot of pass breakups and a lot of interceptions. And then you got Whit, who's just flying around like just a missile, just attacking people. And he does have that kind of reputation already after one season at LSU of just being a guy that's hell-bent for leather, flying around, fun to watch. And, man, I see that same thing in your game. I see echoes of that kind of coverage from aggressive coverage from West. I see echoes of that kind of spirited, just fury, just flying around, just desecrating, just blowing people up kind of stuff. I mean, some of the stuff you're doing in games is nasty. You're hitting the quarterback and you're making sure he knows that you're looking at him and you're like, I got you, bro. Like you're like, I just love it. I love the mentality. And I think it's from your dad as well. That kind of competitive, like, let's go. You know, it's awesome. I love what your whole family has been able to do. I love that your whole family has kind of become a part of the LSU Tiger family, full stop. Two brothers already being Tigers. It's awesome. And hopefully, you know, that'd be great if you became a Tiger. But really, I think you're going to be successful wherever you go, and I'm definitely going to be following and keeping track wherever you go as well. But hopefully, we can do this again way before any of that. And I appreciate the time, Zach.
Oh yeah, of course.
And thank you so much, my man.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you.